Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the last game of this episode. And once again, we are going to be your shoutcasters. I am Vulcan, and joining with me is Theo. So, guys, this is going to be the last game. Not to mention the GPL ticket draw will also be after this game. Maybe we'll announce it on our Facebook page, or maybe we'll do it on stream. Stay tuned for that.
Yes, indeed. So this is going to be a very interesting game. Make or break for both teams. Trinity University of Asia and TIP. You know, both teams a little bit on the edge here, as this game will kind of define what will happen to both teams as far as who will be proceeding to the group stage of the local collegiate league right here. You know, unfortunately, both teams definitely, I'd say they're up to par with each other. You know, TUA, I'd say a little bit somewhat consistent, I'd say, in their performance. TIP, however, has kind of faltered from last split. You know, they were the champions last, but unfortunately, due to roster changes, they don't, it's a bit harsh, but I'd say they don't look as strong this split. So they've been struggling to kind of find their footing in the LCL with their new roster. But let's go ahead and check out what's going to happen here in the pick and bans for both sides here.
So in your opinion, Arctic, I mean, they've banned out the Vladimir. That's a pretty decent thing.
Yes, indeed.
And I think the overlays are not correct. So guys, I think we'll still. Oh wait, it's correct.
Yes,
so
it is.
it's actually got two back-to-back games, and now they're banning out the Vladimir.
Yes,
So really interesting to see.
Vladimir, you know, with all that sustained, for some reason he has been appearing a lot as of the recent patch. So no surprise right there actually. And then for the Gragas, Lulu, so potentially the Gragas could, because with the Gragas it could go both ways. You could send the Gragas top at some occasions, but of course mostly say Gragas in the jungle, so they kind of want to relieve a little bit of pressure that potentially might screw up their composition a bit. So Lulu as well going to be banned, very standard support, especially of recent, has been seeing a lot more viability for the bans from TIP, Oriana.
And now we're seeing actually hover on the Jarvan. And but going into to a side, it's like a Kled top. Why is it strong? Why is Kled top strong?
Well, based on what I've been seeing so far, because funny thing is that I've been using a Kled a lot as of the recent days. And what I really love about Kled is that he actually works in the Philippine scene most especially, because so long as you have proper vision, you could actually, like if you see a target from, let's say, about a
few jungles away.
Yeah, it's kind of hard saying miles or feet because you can't really measure the distance in some areas. But yeah.
So let's say a few Timos away. Like Timo.
So like let's say about 20 to 30 Timos away, and if you see a target that's isolated and then doesn't really have that many escape mechanics, like you could just charge right in and instant pick off right there. And of course other uses as well, not just for that, but just the overall potential as to going into these clashes. You know, it really helps, especially if you're running a composition with other champions that doesn't necessarily have the best ability, such as Victor, such as the Cassiopeia. The charge from Kled makes all the difference, and which is why I really love Kled. It's passive, the passive itself.
Yeah, I really have a weird time timing the violent tendencies, because every time I'm pretty low on health, I thought I can summon Skarl, but I end up going 0-10. So I don't know how the timing works. I mean, it is a passive.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time. Like even when I started using Skarner, Kled, like because Skarl, so I got Skarl. But anyway, it takes a little bit of time before you get used to how to manage getting Skarl back properly. But yeah, once you do, definitely rewarding.
It's very rewarding. And going to the TIP side, we are going to see again one of the strong meta junglers, Graves, and a support Nami. We might expect an Ezreal pick supporting that Nami, or a Lucian, which is a high
potential,
yeah, high potential ADC. So let's see. What will they pick? And knowing that Abram is taken away, and yes, there it is, an Ezreal hover. I hope that is just a hover, because I really have a hard time seeing Ezreal do well in lane, but seeing that it's a Nami support, it might be a different story.
There's a little bit more safety, yeah. And if you're gonna look at it here, I somewhat like the Ezreal pick going up against TUA, because if you're gonna go for any other ADC, especially with less mobility or escape tools, then you're gonna have a really hard time going up against a Kled, a Hecarim, Braum. So many initiate tools right off the bat.
Oh, look at that! Cover the Katarina.
Yes.
Katarina, Kled, and Braum. what is TUA doing? I think they're going for all-in damage. And
Definitely.
not to mention, there is also the Gled with the charge. I'm not sure how TIP can face this of the RTX champions, but
Exactly.
due to roster changes, what part in their composition, why did they falter? Was it the top laner, mid laner?
For me, because I've obviously worked with TIP before, one of the main problems that they have right now is they lost two key players. The top lane, their former captain Hanzo, was actually one of the solid shot callers for TIP. Mid lane, TIP Janine before, who was replaced by Dukes, or there you go. He was the superstar basically. He was probably like one of the best, if not the best, LCL player during his time, which is why losing those two key players really translates to what TIP has been showing right now in terms of performance as of the recent term.
And not to mention, TUA is actually pretty looking good so far.
Yeah, I'm actually loving this draft from Trinity University of Asia. If not, like, it's definitely something I would personally draft for a professional game. So it's all about execution here. But given the fact that you have the Kled, imagine a Kled paired with a Hecarim. Hecarim gaining tons and tons of damage by that extra movement speed. So just the pure boost of speed you get from the Kled, TIP definitely has their work cut out for them. They really have to try to put themselves in a scenario wherein they avoid getting engaged on by Trinity University of Asia as much as possible. And luckily, they do have the tools to do so. They have the Nami tidal wave. They have the...
oh wow, yeah, they do have the disengage tools.
Indeed.
They also have the Nautilus's drench line in terms of gap closing, but it's all up to timing. I guess who pulls the trigger first? It could be in the game or in the chat box.
Yes, indeed.
I would be the one in the chat box to always pull the trigger first and tell my opponent that I'm gonna get some.
Oh!
And yeah, but that's not gonna work out well for me. But let's see how TUA will fare against the next champion like TIP.
Yes, indeed. I'm very interested in. And you know, let's go ahead and review the compositions right here once again. Like, personally, if I were to base it off what they have on the board right now, assuming that each team plays to their win conditions and what they should be doing on Summoner's Rift, I had definitely put my money on Trinity University of Asia just because they have so many champions which really exemplify a lot of strengths as of the recent patches. Like I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of the Kled. I consider Kled in the right hands with the right team quite OP. And then you have the Katarina as well. We know how much of a pain in the Katarina is as of the recent patch.
Katarina got nerfed in terms of the dagger and the Shunpo, the 4 seconds, which is very punishing, knowing that that is your main damage.
Indeed.
And that's how you harass the enemy. But comparing against an Ari, I think Kappa Hunters will have a hard time.
Indeed, indeed. The thing with Katarina is that with those nerfs right now, with the higher cooldowns, because her late game is still pretty much the same, but her early game in the laning phase leaves her a little bit more vulnerable because of the higher cooldown on Shunpo. That being said, it's quite interesting to see if we'll see TIP capitalize on that fact. I feel like they could definitely do so because with Mayao, if he could get a smoke bomb into the Katarina once her Shunpo is down, like, she doesn't really have that much of tools to escape but to just flash out or walk away. So it all depends on how TIP plays this, whether or not they could play to capitalize on what weaknesses has TUA early on. Because if they don't do so, and if TUA allows themselves to kind of build up, then they're going to have a really hard time going into these clashes, assuming that TUA has that synergy to really take advantage of a composition that does utilize such champions, such as the Kled.
And the Hecarim too, right?
Yes.
I mean, there is the synergy plus the Braum, but it all comes down to execution.
Yes,
it's
indeed.
like you wrote everything for you studied everything for your certain quiz, but that somehow prof gives items that you don't study.
Exactly.
That's what you call execution. You may have prepared, did your homework, but it's up to how you play in a game that will result in it, because effort is meaningless. Anything that matters is results.
Yes, and oh gosh, I'm getting chills right now from what we'll be getting out of this game earlier. So we'll just have to see, you know, Trinity University of Asia Technological Institute of the Philippines, a lot at stake at them if they want to make it out of the conference stage and straight into the group stage. You know, I mean, who wouldn't want to make the top 16 of the biggest baddest out there as of the collegiate teams right now? But you know, as I've been telling Atlas earlier, there's a lot of teams that there's so many strong teams. Like, it's just so hard to predict which team will eventually make it to top 16, top 4. Like I've mentioned, I've made my predictions none of them have been correct so far. Probably the only prediction that was correct was UP Diliman, because I've been expecting them to come up really strong. But other teams that you expect, especially those that made the top 16 last split, haven't really been performing. Some of them already actually out of the running for making it to the group stage. So it's just so unpredictable at this point. And this game, we'll just have to see how that goes. If TUA will be able to disappoint once and for all TIP's streak of potentially making it to the group stage, or if they could propel themselves one step closer to potentially making it to the group stage, forcing a tie potentially.
So let's hope that TUA secures in a victory so that TIP's dreams of representing their conference are shattered. But I think TIP will fight strong. And to the viewers out there, for the search and win questions earlier, who made the side stone first? So the answer to that question is TUA Cry. And the person who answered this question correctly is Juan Miguel Leda. Congratulations to you. You win yourself a mystery gift and a free, a raffle ticket to win yourself a free GPL ticket. And to the second question, who used redemption first? Huh?
Yes.
What minute? Okay, so the concept of the game, who used it first? The answer is CDSL Spongy. The person who answered that question correctly is Jovel Calves.
Cafes.
There you go. Sorry if I didn't say your name correctly. You win yourself a mystery gift. I think you know, even if I say your names incorrectly, you will expect a mystery gift in 5 working days. What are 5 working days?
Yes.
Well, considering Holy Week is coming up, I would say next week.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry, guys. Regardless, you'll be getting your mystery gift. Fingers crossed that it's very, very worth, you know.
Yes, the answer was the person who won it correctly is Jovel Cafes. Sorry for that. And to the viewers out there, you still have your chance to win yourself search and win trivia question. We're still going on, and not to mention the raffle draw for the GPL free ticket. And not to mention Arctic, I think you're also giving away GPL tickets.
Yes, of course. All you have to do is just follow me and watch my stream this coming Monday. I gave 3 tickets away last Friday. They're very, very happy, very, very excited to not only attend GPL, but the freebies, man, the freebies.
Yeah, you get a dry fit shirt, you get a lanyard, mouse pad, limited edition skins. I think it's the Silver Gale.
Yeah.
But not to mention just you get the Nightmare Chogas, the Poros Astro, Poros Skin Wars, and also front row seats to see a history unfold because Garena Philippines is the first time for them to host the GPL this year.
I'm so excited, man.
It's actually going to happen in 3 days.
Oh,
I mean, April 12th to 16. But the finals is going to be on April 16, but the actual start of the week, let's say when the teams arrive, April 12th will be introduction, then 13 and 14, 15 is the rest day, then 16 is the finals. For more information, visit our website at gpl.garena.com.
And ladies and gents, we are going to be heading into our 6th and final crucial game of the evening for the Metro East Conference. It's going to be Trinity University of Asia versus Technological Institute of the Philippines. So let's go ahead and do our rundown of the peeps on Summoner's Rift right now. In the top lane for Trinity University of Asia, it's going to be Shufflebot on the Kled. In the jungle, we have Throw White on the Hecarim. For the mid lane, we have Kapahontas on the Katarina. And to sum up the bot lane right here for my peeps on Trinity University of Asia, we have Arl on the Caitlyn for AD carry and Cry on the Braum for Les Supporta.
And for TIP's side, pretty standard, solid top laner Nautilus, Graves, that's strong with the jungler, and Ari in the mid lane, Ezreal and Nami for the duo bot lane. But we can see that TIP moving as a squad and a unit, and no invasions will happen so far.
Yes, indeed.
It's just gonna be them walking around the rift, not much happening. And we've seen that on TUA's side, they did visit the red side, so they know where they might start, and I think they've placed a ward on the red side.
I feel like I'm watching some kind of Filipino childhood game here. Agawan ng buff is real for both sides here, as both get each other's blue buffs. So interesting. So I'd still say they're both fairly standard because either way, each of them start with a blue buff each, although on the opposite side of the jungle. So anyways, for the red team right here, Technological Institute of the Philippines. In the top lane, we have Tarya1 on the Nautilus. In the jungle, we have Meow1 on the Graves. In the mid lane, we have Dukes on the Ari. And for the bot lane, TIP Cute on the Ezreal for AD carry, and Akasha on the Nami for support.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Ezreal is going to fare this time, knowing that it is a Nami support. And not to mention, I hope for TIP's sake that Tariel is not going to be baited by that Scarl.
Yes, he has to be very careful with this matchup. Although technically, laning phase Nautilus
Oh,
does...
two-man Aqua Prison, but there is no follow-up from Cute. He does have the blue buff, so that's going to give him an advantage in terms of trade-offs, but I hope it's going to be enough because right now, Arl and Try are juggling that potion down, and let's see in the top lane, bit of a duel happening.
Pokey is real in that bot lane right there, but hold that thought right there, Tarya gonna get ganked.
Throw wide, devastating charge onto Tarya, not gonna happen. Here comes Meowie, just sees the action and walks back to his jungle. Not needed, no risks taken, and Tarya is just gonna chuck down that potion. And I'm really curious why the Ezreal has a blue.
Exactly, maybe this could be intentional because, you know, I guess it would make sense because if I were
looking at Graves' mana bar right now, I don't think he has a blue buff.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I like about Cute having the blue buff earlier on is the fact that I feel like if you're going to look at who the powerful players on TIP are, it's definitely TIP Cute, you know, if you're going to look at who their strong key player is. That being said, if they could get Cute hustling and bustling early on this Ezreal, this might actually be good enough to potentially help them carry through the game against Trinity University of Asia. Although there's still a lot of risk because even though you have a fed Ezreal, if you have a composition like Trinity University of Asia's, where there's just so much engaged potential, so much people that can go in straight into the back lane onto Cute, then you're going to have trouble here regardless of whether or not Cute is in the lead here.
And not to mention, they have the Braum to block all those skill shots. Let's see how it turns out. Cry is very low. Cute goes in for a tower dive. He takes in a hit, and the Aqua Prison just hits the minion. And Cry trying to get some revenge for that touch. So, touched by an Ezreal.
Touched. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling a jam right there. Couldn't quite put my finger on it though. But let me go back to this top lane right here for the Nautilus versus Kled. I really like when I was in the process of studying Kled, I really like looking up the matchups here because he's actually quite vulnerable against certain champions. But ooh, hold that thought right there. We'll have to see that vulnerability in action.
Wow, in terms of trade-off, Shufflebot is winning because I think he's on the Fervor of Battle. Compared to Nautilus, I might say he's on the Colossus. I can't say. I can't see the Keystone, but let's hope that Tarya is going to be a bit more tanky. But in the second recall, whoa, he picked 2 Doran's Ring to top it all off. I'm not sure if that's going to be a really nice choice. And we can see Kapahontas going all in onto Dukes. But here comes Meowie with the Graves Ignite. It's onto Kapahontas. He flashed away. It is not enough. That's going to be a first blood for Dukes.
Meow, you know, Throw White actually exhibited a little bit of a badge earlier, but Meow, a little bit more shinier badge there, level 7. So
let the gloating begin. So TIP securing the first blood. This will give Dukes an advantage in terms of itemization.
I'm sorry, I actually made a mistake earlier. The Kled versus Nautilus matchup, it's actually Kled that has a bit more of an advantage, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he has a bit more of an advantage. So the ideal thing for Tarya to do, it's either if we just go the Doran's Ring route, then supposedly there should be much more pressure from Yao to balance that out, because technically when you're running this Nautilus against such a composition that Trinity University of Asia has, you kind of want to be a little bit more tankier to take a lot of the blows against these heavy engagers, against all the damage. That said and done. So a little bit, for me, it's a little bit risky for Tarya to run double Dorans, especially if this will translate to him being a little bit more on the squishier side later on if we're not building something a little bit more tankier early on to put up with the damage of and the engages of TUA.
Yeah, not to mention those are dead-end items. You can't build anything from them. So it's really hard to see how Tarya is gonna itemize. I would recommend a Sunfire Cave early on. You know, we always see that Nautilus picks up a Sunfire Cave to help with the clear, thanks to also the Titan's Wrath for the AoE damage.
Plus the fact that if Shufflebot runs this Kled, I mean, for you to run a Kled, you definitely need to have done your homework on how to play this champion efficiently. And I think TIP might have trouble, especially if they're not familiar with how a Kled works and how they could play around the Kled, just because of the fact that if Shufflebot can easily juggle when to engage, when to kind of stand back to wait for and boost up Scarl, then this will be a bit this will mess TIP up in terms of computing what they should do.
Throw White making his slow approach, gets spotted by a control ward. Kra is just jogging down that potion, cannot sustain a fight, blocking too much damage. And looking at TIP's side, 2 control wards are placed.
Yes, indeed. Oh, look at Q.
Oh, look
Very
at the damage
gutsy.
coming in from the Channel of the Nami. There's a block from Cry! Just in the nick of time. That was a pretty close call for Arl.
Ooh, that was pretty scary for towards bot lane right there. But looks like they do still survive another day. Throw White finally has
Cry! He's gonna go and stun. 2-shot barrage! Oh, that's a pretty close call. Onslaught of the Shadows. Devastating charge connects onto Cute. Where is the follow damage? Where is Arl? He is there. Oh, it's Scarl! Here comes Shovelbot from the top lane. Akasha flashes out. Not enough. There comes the bear trap on a Rob. He takes the kill. And here comes Dux from the mid lane. Try very low. Dux goes in for a spin rush. Auto deception gets the double kill. Shovelbot will take the stun in his hand. Kappa Haunted from the mid lane gets charmed instead. A shutdown for Shovelbot.
Oh my goodness, that was a little bit messy one after the other. You know, unfortunately, Cute and Tarya, I mean, not Cute and Tarya, Cute and Akasha rather, very low on mana after that trade out. You know, didn't really have any form of escape as soon as those mana bars went down, leaving them very vulnerable to the Scar right there, no, to Kled rather. Yeah, but yeah, 2 for 3 ultimately. Oh no, sorry, that was a 1 for 3. Still, no, sorry, 2 for 2.
Two for
very
2,
equal, my
but
bad.
you saw the teleport play by Shufflebot. That teleport has been put to good use, and I hope Tarya will not use the teleport. I think he did early on, and that's why he had the advantage.
Yes, indeed. Still very low seconds. His teleport will be up, but let's go ahead and review this right away. So if you're going to look at Akasha and Cute, very low health bars. Unfortunately, Throw White as well, kind of underestimated after the Onslaught of Shadows. Not really much he can do yet because he was low on mana as well. But this is the beauty right here of the Kled here. Gonna go in for the charge. Easily goes for Akasha, knowing very well that the Throw White was already on Cute's case here. And considering the vulnerability, the mobility of the Kled here, he immediately goes for Duke, especially with the Katarina already in radius for the response. Ultimately takes him down, gets the shutdown. Immediately, not really the cleanest, but 2 for 2, very equal trade.
That's gonna help Shufflebot really well, and because of the lead, oh wait! Throw White gets charmed instead, could not deal enough damage because of the devastating charge was not enough, and not to mention Shufflebot picking up a very early Tiamat, just level 8 into the game, plus a Longsword and a Ruby Crystal might go for a Titanic Hydra.
Yes, indeed. Had Hecarim had that Onslaught of Shadows, that would have been death for Dukes right there, because he wouldn't have had he would have been able to have gotten one spirit rush, but then again, he still would have gone down, because that would have been that moment wherein the Onslaught of Shadows, if had it been played, had it been on cooldown, would have been enough time for the Katarina to have dealt the maximum damage that she can, to have taken down the Ahri right there. But still, I'm really loving how Shufflebot, I gotta commend Shufflebot, because he's playing Kled to maximum to the efficiency that a Kled should be played. And so far the play, oh, hold that thought right there.
Coming in, but Throwaway goes in for Meowie! On dash to the Sodas. That's not gonna help out. Cute might go in for the flash. Tarya connects the dredge side onto Kapahontas. 2-man knockwave. That's not gonna happen. That depth charge still lands onto Kapahontas. Tarya is still sticking it to the Cry. He gets taken down by Tarya. And now, where is the gloat? Maybe not yet. The dragon is up for grabs. Tarya is satisfied with that kill. Backs away to defend his top lane turret.
Yes, indeed. Looks like TIP gonna get first turret of the game. Plus the fact that they could transition this to an objective, which is that is the Mountain Drake.
That is going to be the Mountain Drake. They can take it on if they choose to, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's gonna take a long time if it's just Meowie and Akasha. Hold that thought. I think Cute will help in the assist, and with no wards placed, this will be TIP securing the Mountain Drake almost 12 minutes into the game earlier than that. That is in the bag. TIP takes the Mountain Drake.
I gotta commend Dukes here. You know, he's filling in very big shoes here for the former superstar of TIP, which is Janine. And 4-1 and an Ahri, that's actually not bad. Actually, 80% 80% of the kills on on him. So we're just gonna have to see as to whether or not Deuce can translate this to potentially carrying. But
there it is. Charge onto Taria, and also devastating charge onto Taria. He is being bullied a lot in the top lane. He has to back away. The Drench Line is not going to be helped. The Riptide, though, slows it up. But the Bear Trap on the rope, Shuffle Bot is on a roll.
not exactly the best move by Taria right there. This is what I've been talking about. This is the problem when you're running double Dorans on the Nautilus. Sure, Nautilus was able, if you see, he dealt a sizable amount of damage during that during the Kled and Hecarim onslaught right there. But the problem was that because of the fact that he didn't have enough tankiness, he went down right away to the Hecarim and the Kled, and that's technically what the Kled and Hecarim want to happen when you're especially running a Kled composition. Allowing the Kled to have that many kills, 3-0 right now, will just make it so much easier for TUA to get those engages on, even though some of the members might be behind. So we'll just have to see how this goes for Trinity University of Asia and Technological Institute of Philippines. At the end of the day, I feel like it depends on who manages to capitalize on what leads they have right now. Because so far, what I'm seeing, it's still anybody's game right here. I still have my money on Trinity University of Asia just because of the fact that I really love their all-in composition and how they could easily disrupt TIP if they play their composition to their strengths and played correctly. So we'll just have to see right here, ladies and gents, of course. Yeah, wow. How about you, Vulcan? What can you say about that game so far?
Pretty, oh wait, I can already talk about that game already. We're back on the rift. So, coming from that, Taria just got tanked in and Dukes charms in throw wide. There is a Meow, but Dukes gets the kill. It's a bit of an overkill, not needed for collateral damage.
Oh yes, there we go. A little bit, that was a bit, yeah, for the Hecarim. I'm a little bit speechless right there, just because of the fact that, you know, the Hecarim, he didn't really have that enough mana. He still had
4 members.
They're
just gonna terrorize this turret without any restraint. With TUA, no Drakes, no turrets into the game. They are losing control really quickly.
Interesting. TIP exhibiting, this is the same type of macro play that TIP exhibited in their game against, if I'm not mistaken, that was Mapua. I'm not quite sure, but during one of these games.
It's definitely not Mapua Makati.
Oh, okay, not
no
Mapua,
macro
yeah.
play.
So, but nonetheless, for TIP here,
What?
the interesting thing is that this is the type of play that you don't really see from them.
Yeah, you don't see that play, man. Look at that, TIP securing the Rift Herald. And I think that they still have a strong team fight because of the Kled. There is Shufflebot 3-0. We'll finish up the Black Cleaver pretty soon.
Yes, indeed. So 3 and 6 on our scoreboard right now. But like I mentioned, this might be one of the strengths of TIP, having changed out their players with Hanzo and by replacing Hanzo and Janine with both Deuce and Akasha. Because the good thing about here is that what I've noticed about TIP that they didn't really have during the last split was that certain level of macro play. Strategy for TIP throughout the entire split last split was pretty clear out. Dominate early game to make up for the fact that they didn't have the strongest team play. That being said, I'm actually surprised that they have these type of rotations, and we're seeing, well, I wouldn't say it's the strongest rotations or team play, because there's a lot more stronger LCL teams with that type of team play, but nonetheless, still very uncharacteristic of the TIP that we saw from the last term.
Yeah, we can see that Kappa Hondas is really struggling with the Shumpo because of those long cooldowns. He has to level up, but instead he levels up the bouncing blades first until level 5, so the Shumpo is still at a solid 14 seconds, but he does have the cooldown reduction. It's still very punishing.
Yes, indeed. And in this case, for Trinity University of Asia, for the Katarina in particular, it's more of the patience game. Kappa Hontus doesn't really want to get picked off early on. That being said, where the Katarina really shines is when they go into these 5v5 team fights, especially if both the Scarl and the Hecarim can get a clean initiate, because that being said, if they're able to top off the charge and the Onslaught of Shadows, that'll just give Kappa Hontus all the widest window ever to maximize the damage that a Katarina has. A very clean, ooh, bubble almost connecting right there. But yeah, as I was saying, to get all those skills clean out and potentially make an escape still. without dying. So we'll just have to see. Like I mentioned, TUA running a composition requires a lot of synergy, a lot of teamwork, and we'll just have to see.
Oh, what? Glacial Fissure, a bit of a sticky finger for Cry. With the ultimate down, this will give TIP sort of a safety net. Knowing that Cry has no ultimate, but hold that thought. Teleport coming in from the top lane. Throw wide, going along into Dux. There is the fear, and there is the charge, the crowd control, immunity, but Shufflebot goes back instead, knowing that Tarya is there.
Oh my goodness, this is what I've been talking about with Trinity University of Asia. The composition that they're running requires a lot of teamwork, a lot of synergy. That being said, that's a classic example of
no, Charm lands onto Aurel. Aurel gets the Drench Line, Death Charge onto Kapahontas, and now Tarya really sticking it close to Cry. Cry makes it out. There is the flash in, Orb of Deception from the Ari, and now Tarya is left for dead. The Death Lotus is not enough, and Throw Away just chilling at the fountain.
Yautza, that is going to be the ace that TIP needs. Like I mentioned, as I was saying earlier, Trinity University, they were requiring a lot of synergy. That being said, that was a classic example of where their composition could go wrong. If we saw Onslaught of Shadows being as the initiation tool by Throw White right there, but the problem was, ideally what you want to do is you want to charge before you get that Onslaught of Shadows, and just so that you have that Kled, which could take a little bit more damage because of that Scarl passive right there.
Yeah, and not to mention that was in turret range, so it's really risky to use the charge under the turret, which is very hard, knowing that there's this Nautilus. Here's the replay.
But here we go. As TIP goes for this push right here, they know very well that the Hecarim is down. Easily goes for Aurel, the squishiest target that's in the front line right there. A little bit of mispositioning right there as well. And there we go, Shufflebot, the next to, he's taking quite the damage right there.
He just got that orb, man. Wow!
Exactly, and here we go. TIP, all a matter of going for the cleanup, gets the ace, and very interesting play by TIP right there. But then again, I can't really peg it on TIP as making a great play. It's more of TUA just fumbling with the Braum. First off with the Braum ult, second by Hecarim, unfortunately, initiating a little bit too early, extending all the way under turret. So very risky play there by Trinity University.
So with that said, I mean, TUA still managed to get an objective. That is going to be the Cloud Drake. Gonna help really well for Throw White in terms of his passive.
Exactly, definitely. At least, that's the consolation that Trinity University of Asia does manage to get. And that's actually a buff that, as you said, it actually works very well for them, considering the composition that they have. So Meow looking very gutsy, actually confident to roam around Trinity University of Asia.
He has the Rift Herald. I mean, the Void Glimpse passive is just too much. The buff is too powerful. And not to mention, Graves itself, he's a very tanky ADC because of the two grit. So it's just a matter of fact that also getting the Void Glimpse from the Rift Herald is going to help him a lot.
I just thought of the most facepalm cringeworthy thing about Trinity University of Asia right now.
What?
Like they have this Kled right now, right?
Yeah.
And it makes sense because Kled has Scarl. You can't spell Scarl without their ADC Arl.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, that was the cringiest thing ever. I should get slapped for that. But anyways, let's go back into the game right here.
Oh,
Yautza.
No. Oh, where's Scarl? Oh, he's right there. Shufflebot out position and killed. But the turret in the top lane is being taken out. Dux gets speared, goes all onto Meowie. Tidal wave for the gap closer, and now here comes Kapahontas. No, a bit too early. Death Charge was right on point when he was channeling that Death Lotus. And a bit of a torque party happening in the top lane.
So 2 for 1. Although in different lanes.
Kapahontas is something, he's bad with timing.
Yeah, not
he is terrible.
If that ult from the Katarina was cast a little bit more early, that would have been absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's very hard. Knowing that there's a Nami, there's a Nautilus, and then Ari and Nami, that's so hard. It's going to give Kapahontas a really hellish time for him to time the Death Lotus.
And like I mentioned, I keep on repeating this over and over again. It's all about the synergy with Trinity University of Asia's composition. So far, this is the ultimate problem that we're seeing here is that they're not able to time their ults correctly in order to make the most out of the damage, out of the initiations that they have. That being said, TIP capitalizing on all these mistakes that Trinity University of Asia is gaining. 5 and 13 on the scoreboard with almost an 8,000 gold deficit in favor of TIP. So this is very interesting. Ooh, looks like both teams spotting out each other in this Baron pit.
They're just checking each other out, seeing that and sizing each other. Looking at Tarya's position, he was hoping for a flank, fails instead. Shufflebot just floating in front of him, and not to mention the Baron is live and soon to be also the Ocean Drake. And with that said, I think the members of TUA just backed away, knowing that there is a huge minion wave coming into the mid lane. They use this to get the Baron. I mean, they're fresh from the base, so I don't think they can catch up. And knowing that they have the Mountain Drake buff, that's going to go down quicker.
Oh my goodness, I'm not sure what's juicier right now. But nonetheless, Baron take from TIP, non-contestant from Trinity University of Asia. Unfortunately, if you're going to look at their warding, actually, it's a little bit more of defensive. They weren't able to extend as far as the river. That being said, TIP actually very clean take. You know, I mean, Trinity University of Asia didn't have vision there, but they probably would have known, right?
Okay, let's see. Shuttlebutt is charging onto Cute. He has his eyes on the Cute. There is the bear trap on the road. Cube gets taken down, and there's the cancel from the tidal wave. Colano damage, though, secures a kill from Meowie. Shufflebut a bit too danger close onto Akasha. Meowie just backs away. They still have the arm buff. I mean, Cute is down though.
Very well played by Trinity University of Asia right now. That is actually how they should be initiating in clashes. But the problem was, unfortunately, TIP wasn't even complete right there. So, 1 for 1. Basically, 1 for 1 still. So, Cute was taken down right there. They were able to still get Aural though. So
and now they have their inhibitor back. So, this is an opportunity for TUA to bounce back and not to mention, at least give TIP a harder time. And at least make sure that their dreams of representing their conference is not in the bag.
Yes,
right? Not just yet.
Not just yet. So we'll just have to see. Like I mentioned, Trinity University of Asia, they finally exhibited what I've been expecting of the composition when they were able to pick off Cute. Now, if they could execute that, I wouldn't say clean, but if they could exhibit something a little bit more cleaner than that, then TIP definitely is going to be, it's going to have a little bit of a harder time, because especially as we're heading into the mid-lane late game, they're starting to build items here. It's all about Trinity University of Asia pulling off the composition properly, the initiation, the top of damages. Like we saw earlier, there was a little bit of for the first 2 times that Trinity University of Asia got those major clashes in. The first one, Hecarim was a little bit too extended into the turret. Second one, Katarina a little bit late on the ult right there. But if they could get that a little bit more cleaner, Trinity University of Asia, without a doubt, could make the comeback and could potentially upset TIP as to making it back to the group stage.
And not to mention, they still have the Claire. The Claire is pretty fed right now, but I couldn't say the same for the mid lane of TUA. He's not fed, but he is a feeder. So, not to mention, the Ari is now I'm not sure where the Ari stands, but I know that the Ari is dealing so much damage.
Yes, that's actually a good point that you raised here, because if you're going to look at it, as far as who the initiator, the Kled on Trinity University of Asia, he's the one that's fed, but the problem is, if they don't have enough damage to back up that solid initiate, then that could potentially spell problems right there. And if you're going to look at it, Katarina, the Caitlyn, a little bit too behind to actually deal anything significant just yet. So maybe in this case, Trinity University of Asia, they should play a little bit more safer, try to get some more itemization to get up to par with TIP on the damage that they could deal. And if they could do that, back into the game we go.
And let's see. Oh, right now the Ari is 7-1. The Katarina is 1-3, so in terms of itemization, the Katarina is not that far behind, but it is behind because you cannot do much, knowing that there is a Nautilus. I think they should have checked their facts before picking a Katarina, leaving open an area, and here comes the Ghost. Throw wide, making his approach, Shufflebot sticks it to Tarya, he gets bear trap on a rope, and now Tarya is separate dead, maybe not. The members of TIP closing in, there's the flash, and looking in the mid lane, we can see that Meowie is just pressuring TUA, and I don't think TUA is taking this seriously.
Yes, indeed, we're not seeing a kitten tonight from Meow, we're seeing a full-grown Cougar right there, managing to take down the inhibitor while TUA was busy.
Oh, look at that, Meowie gets stuck by the bear trap on the rope, he flashes away, 2-shot barrage, and a what? Outside of the shadows was used as an escape tool, so that is -1 for TUA in terms of engage. Right now, I don't think they have any fighting spirit. This might be TIP closing the game as fast as they can, ending TUA's misery once and for all. But here comes the last flash. Shufflebot sticks into Tarya. Not a target you want to focus on, and living killed open in the field to free hit as much as he can. shuffle, but still focusing on the target. Yahweh takes the passive, and Q takes shuffle double down. Oh, no damage at all. King gets the double kill. Q, this is TIP securing their victory.
Oh my goodness. Looks like, wow.
I don't think they actually tried this time.
Yes.
I mean, I think it was given that TUA could not match the team composition of TIP. It's so much hard. CC, the Garena has a hard time, and I think that is game set.
Whoa,
by granting,
pentakill.
Not a highlight worthy though, but a pentakill, yay.
And congratulations, Technological Institute of the Philippines, for getting themselves one step closer to the group stage.
So now congratulations to TIP. Now there will be a tiebreaker for the third seed between CDSL and TIP. So congratulations to TIP. The dream of making it to the playoffs is still live. You still have a chance to win for the third seed and move on to the inter-conference.
Yes, but let's go ahead and break down what happened in that game real quick. So like I mentioned, as far as the composition, my money was totally on Trinity University of Asia. Like I mentioned, it's all about execution, it's all about synergy, it's all about getting that combo in correctly. Problem was, it didn't quite happen during the first two clashes, and the problem was, they didn't really have enough room to make those mistakes, and it kind of reflects here. Throw White a little bit too behind.
Throwing the game.
Not necessarily, but yeah, if you're gonna look at it in comparison to Meow, 4-0-9, so there's a huge difference as far as who the key players of TUA and TIP, who should be fed technically. So, and we kind of did see it in that last clash, wherein it was kind of what I feared for Trinity University of Asia. They had such a great comp, but the problem was, despite Kled, despite Hecarim getting a clean initiate on, the damage from the Katarina, the damage from the Caitlyn wasn't enough, plus the fact that Tarya was doing a great job at kind of fronting, so the only target that Caitlyn could actually auto-attack was Tarya. But Tarya just so tanky, allowing the other members of TIP to just kind of poke, do the damage that they can, and ultimately melting down the front line, heading to the back line. Nonetheless, very well played. And damage, wow.
The Nami deals more damage than the ADC of TUA, so that's a problem for them. But once again, that's game set. Congratulations to TIP. And for the GPL raffle draw for the free ticket, the winners are, but wait, before we get to that, you will be added towards your LOL and G+. Garena Metanoia will keep in touch with you to tell you how you can get your tickets. So the winners are Elia Peralta, congratulations, and Carlo Rano for winning yourself a GPL ticket. Congratulations to the two winners of the GPL raffle draw. It's going to come up in next week, actually, April 16th at the SM Aura Hall, Samsung Hall. So, congratulations, and make sure you keep in touch with Metanoia to get yourself that ticket. And for the Search and Win trivia winners, you will be announced next week. Keep in touch in the Facebook page of the LoL Collegiate in the Garena, yeah.
Yes, there we go. So again, congrats to the winners. We'll be seeing you at the Samsung Hall next week. So, but of course, yeah, of course, still very well played by Trinity University of Asia. I'm such a huge fan of the composition that they drafted nonetheless. But TIP emerging victorious, playing a little bit more cleaner, capitalizing on the mistakes right there. Of course, what an evening! What an evening!
What an evening was. There was rescheduling and everything, but we were still awarded a game until the last game at Game 6. So guys, there you have it. That has been our episode for this stream. Note that the LCL will have a short break for a week because to give way to the GPL. So, till next time guys, I am Vulcan. I was your shoutcaster for this game, and joining with me, my co-caster, Arctic. We'll be seeing you in our next stream. Sprinkles call, onslaught of the shadows, devastating charge connects onto Cute. Where is the follow damage? Where is Arl? He is there. Oh, it's Arl! Here comes Showman from the top lane. Akasha flashes out. Not enough. There comes the bear trap on a rock. He takes the kill. And here comes Dux from the mid lane. Try very low. Dux goes in for spin rush. Item deception gets the double kill. Showman will take the stun in his hand. Kappa Hunters from the mid lane gets charmed instead. A shutdown for Showman. Yowie on there to the soldiers. That's not gonna help out. Cute might go into the flash. Tarya connects the direct side onto Kappa Hunters. Two-man dog wave. That's not gonna happen. That depth charge still lands on the Kappa Hunters. Tarya is still sticking it to the cry. He gets taken out by Tarya. Arlo gets the direct side depth charge onto Kappa Hunters. And now Tarya really sticking it close. Cry. Cry makes it out. There is the flash in or reception from the Ari, and now Taria is left for dead. The death bonus is not enough. It's on the Meowie. Tidal wave for the Death Closer, and now here comes Kapahontas. Oh, a bit too early. Death charge was right on point when he was channeling that Death Lotus. A bit of a torque party happening in the top lane.
So 2 for 1, although in different lanes.
Kapahontas charging up the kill. He has his eyes on the kill. There is the bear trap on the rope. Cube gets taken down, and there's the cancel from the tidal wave. Collateral damage. No, he secures the kill for Meowie. Shuffle Bud. Here comes the last smash. Shuffle Bud sticks to target. Not a target you want to focus on, and leaving Cube open in the field to free hit as much as he can. Shuffle Bud still focusing on the target. Meowie takes the passive, and Cube takes the double down. Oh, no damage at all. He gets the double kill. Cube, this is TIP securing their victory.
Oh my goodness. Looks like, wow.
I don't think they actually tried it yet. I mean, I think it was given that in that match, the team competition of TNT so much on CC. The Carolina has more time, and I think that is game set.
Whoa,
Granted,
pentakill.
Not a highlight for you though, but a pentakill, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to Technological Institute of the Philippines for getting themselves